Okay, I want to do the dice thing again because I'm learning more as I play. This is 3 sets of dice. 2 is enough. 3 is like, yeah. All right, so here's the dice for Star Wars role-playing game. All right, these are not included. These are my own because you need these for critical rolls. So when you get a critical, you know, they have a table and you can roll those. And I guess if you do random stuff, although I did another video where I don't believe random is really good in this, like encounters and random stuff. I think everything should be planned out. But anyway, that's for critical rolls. And other than that, you don't have any number dice. So these dice here are for deciding for the Jedi, the Force users. And these, the characters will roll at the beginning of the game. And let's say I have 3 characters and whoa, they get 4 good points, 4 good destiny points. And the GM doesn't get any dark side points. Now, when that happens, let's just say one of them rolled this. So when that happens, these are the tokens that come with the dice. And then what I do, what I find is the best way to do this is I will put the 2 dice for them at their side, and I will have the 2 black dice for me on my side. I like that. At first I had them together, but what I found is more reminds them that they're there is when I put these right up in front of them and these right in front of me. And then whenever I use one, because what these do is throughout the game, I can turn one over, use it as a dark force, and add like bonuses to my rolls or whatever. And they can do the same with theirs, you know, like advantage in or like what they're called. Oh my God, I'm already forgetting. What's in Star Wars? Star Wars D&D. I forgot the name. Oh my gosh, I'm already losing terms here. But you know what I'm talking about. The what do we call? I give you the whatever. Anyway, those things. You get an advantage. You know, you can get an advantage roll or whatever. So, you know, then I'll toss this over to their side and they put it there. That way they know they have them. And then when they use them, they obviously got to give them back to me. And so it goes back and forth because it's, you know, the Force and all that. But these are cool. So yeah, these are those. And these are, and also these, that's pretty much all they're used for, unless you're a Force user. And just so you know, all the core books have the basics on being a Force user. You know, like not you know, the Jedi is a specific kind of Force user, but there's also, you know, you can be like a shaman, witch, kind of witchy, or kind of quasi wizardy sci-fi wizard in and they, you know, they have those sort of same abilities, not as trained and refined as the Jedi, you know, but Force users throughout the galaxy. And these so if you do like my daughter has a healer, or she's a Force user, and one of her, you know, spell list, literally it's a spell list, is healing. And so whenever she wants to heal, she has to roll this. She can't use any unless she wants to go to the dark side and use it. But if she got this, she could heal like 4 and 4. I forget the exact 4 wounds and 4 wounds. She got this, she could heal 4 wounds. So each time she wants to use it, she has to roll this to see if she even gets any Force points to use at that time. Then if you get another Force point, you can use 2, you know, and roll and be able to use them. So that's kind of how that works. And I hope I get this all right because, you know, I'm still kind of new at this. So that's what those are used for. Coffee break. Commercial. Oh yeah, my daughter got me this. Mr. Coffee warmer thing. Pretty good. It doesn't keep it lava hot, which I think is probably good because I don't burn myself, but it keeps it warm. So that's nice. That's my commercial. Mr. Coffee, send money. Okay, so the dice. How the dice work. Here's the main dice. The goal of this video also is to explain to you that that it's as a GM, it's very easy to throw NPCs at them. Very easy. If you get the basic understanding of how the dice work, you don't have to look up or make an NPC if you don't want to. You can just throw them at them. Now you might want to get a little familiar with. Well, you're going to, you know, familiarize yourself obviously with the types of NPCs and the types of gear that you want to give them. But it's really quick and easy to do it. You don't have to like create a bunch of different NPCs and stuff. I mean, you know, as a GM, you want to and you will. But I'm just saying, if ever you don't be afraid that these dice really do make it easy to just throw an NPC at them, or, you know, if they encounter some NPC you weren't expecting, it's very easy to just, okay, you know, this is what they have. So I'm gonna start with combat, and then I'll go to skills. Oh, I gotta open up a sheet. I forgot to open a sheet, character sheet, just so I can look at the skills and be ready. And I'm not ready. And even though I'm starting, okay, I'm just gonna click on this. Come on, hurry up. Drive. All right, so let me split these out. These are the good dice. Let me split the good dice to the negative dice. I'm going to try to open up a sheet here just so I can see the skills. Okay. Good dice. The good dice are on this side. Let me split them up. So these are the basic. This is the green dice represent, you know, like in Dungeons and Dragons, represents strength, dexterity, whatever your strength, dexterity, you know, wisdom, intelligence. It has brawn, agility, intellect, cunning, willpower, presence. Okay, and it only goes 1 to 6. So 6 is like the highest. 6 is a rancor in brawn. You know, 2 is human. Okay, so when you play, you know that 2 is basically what you're going to play with. Work around. Now the yellow dice are obviously even more bonuses, and that is the profession. If you have ranks in the profession, this is the natural talent, and this is the trained profession talent. And the blue 6-sided dice are a little extra bonus boost die that you know that the GM and the characters can add on based on if the conditions and stuff. So again, the character has brawn, agility, intellect, or I should show a character sheet. Let me grab one out real quick. I know I don't even prepare for this. I don't care. And let me just show you. So as you can see, and I printed this out as a GM, and I have this handy in front of me so that I just remember all this stuff when I'm playing, especially when you know you got to use deception against cool, like, you know, when you're trying to deceive someone, or charm against discipline. Like if you want to charm, when the characters were coming into the gate of a small town, the pirates were, you know, taxing everybody, and so they used their charm against the pirates' discipline, you know, because you as a GM you can decide charm against discipline, charm against cool, charm against vigilance, you know, depending on what you feel, and you got to familiarize yourself with obviously with the little nuances of those differences. And you know the book obviously explains them all, you know, kind of what they believe, you know. It's based on what, you know, just what you as a narrative think, you know, like are the pirates trying to be more disciplined? Are they trying to act more cool, you know, versus a charm? You know, what about coercion? You could use coercion, you know, like a Wookiee, you know, and obviously you don't want like a cool seductive character trying to use coercion. You want like a more scarier, you know, Wookiee kind of guy or a big guy to use coercion against the pirates. Their discipline, maybe a leadership. Maybe there's a one guy there that's, you know, the leader, and he's like going to try to control the pirates so that they're not coerced, you know. And then of course, also vigilance is vigilance is more like for, you know, if you're sneaking around, you know, are they vigilant as you're trying to do something, you know, whatever. So, but yeah, you got to know those little nuances about all that stuff, and it's fun. So there's that. So this is the and that's, by the way, versus skill versus skill. When you go into combat, you're gonna have, it's all pretty much agility. There's one brawn for melee. Lightsaber is for force users, and melee is a weapon based for non-force users. And suppose in the actual game, the two are not to be together. Like lightsaber is actually separate. I just put them together though. Just because on this character sheet I couldn't add another line there, but I don't, you know, whatever. I'm just gonna. I feel like they're the same thing. But so that's my own. This is my own little custom-y sheet, based off of the one that they have, which I really appreciate that they did. Anyway, but it's not a big deal. Okay. So the dice. So when you get a character, right? Oh yeah, let me go back here. And you got the brawn, the agility, intellect, cunning, willpower. Oh, my dog just barks at everybody. Okay, willpower. I tried to. Maybe it's a delivery. I don't know. Whatever. And my thing's moving. Let me get this up. I need a better freaking thingamadigger. We having fun? Okay. I guess I need to get a better priced one. Trying to hold up an iPhone Plus. Okay, so let's just go with the again, the basics of the characteristics are these, right? And human is 2, average across the board. Willpower, cunning, presence, okay? And let's go back to the pirates at the gate, trying to get through without paying. And like I make them pay, you know, the pirates kind of look at what you got, and then they charge you based on that. You know, it's all kind of arbitrary. But it's like 10 credits if you're just a person coming through. But they were coming through now with land speeders and mounts and yopies and dewbacks, and so they were like 50 credits, you know, per person. And so they were trying to use different things like charm and negotiation to lower the price. And they had like womp rat meat, so they were feeding, and the pirates were hungry, you know, so that kind of thing, right? So obviously I'm going to use like charm, which is presence. So presence is 2, okay. So the characters have 2 ranks of natural talent in charm, or what? Yeah, let's just say charm. And the pirates, I'm going to say, are kind of stupid. So I'm going to say 1 rank, or maybe 2. To me, 1 rank is like kids, or just old people who are in the market stalls who are just tired and forlorn. You know what I mean? Like that kind of, like, really, 2 to me is like thugs and the average, character encounters. See, so when you have a thug, you would put 2, just two adversaries. This is how you roll. So like if I roll this, okay, you compare, and now let me explain that real quick anyway. So these are successes, okay, and the explosions are successes, and this crescent or crest, whatever this rebellion looking it looks like a rebel crest thing, is a advantage. Now, these are the opposing dice, and this is the failure, and this is the threat. So basically, advantage, disadvantage. These subtract and minus each other out, and these cancel each other out. They don't mix. So when you roll, you only work these 2 together, and you work these 2 together. Okay. So let's just say I did that. Okay. Just to be a little different. So I succeed. These 2 cancel each other out, and then I still have a threat though. So let's say they charm them. They're okay, but the pirates are very mistrusting of them, because one threat is like a minor thing, like they mistrust them. What if it was 2 threats? You succeed at getting through the door. They don't charge you, but what would I do for that? Well, I can't do strain points. The pirates. I'm going to keep it in my mind that they're going to charge them even more next time because they're angry. Not just a mild concern like this, but they're angry. They tricked us. They screwed us over. So I'll probably just keep that in mind for that. What else for charm? Maybe you can. They won't charge you, but they want the womp rat meat. Could you give them some of the womp rat meat? That could be that too. So it's kind of you have, or the best thing that I've been really realizing is that let the players decide. So players, yes, we got through. They're not going to charge you, but there is a little bit of a threat. So what do you think? Now, and make it kind of hurry along. If it gets too slow, I just say, forget it. Never mind, just go. Let's just move the story along. But that's it. That's charm. Okay. Now, probably the character, especially like the smuggler, is going to have more than just 2 because they want to be charming or deceiving or whatever. So they're probably going to have 3 ranks, because you can at the beginning you can buy more ranks you can buy, you get 110 XP, and then you can buy, upgrade these to like 3 and up to 4. You can get like a couple of them to go up at the beginning. So like a smuggler would probably want to get better presence, because he wants to charm, he wants to be able to and cool, for their operations. So they'll probably have a better presence. So they'll probably have a 3, and not only will they probably have a 3, they'll probably get a rank. With their XP, you can buy ranks then after that. Now these ranks, these proficiency die, do not add on to, they replace. Okay, so remember that they replace. They don't add, they replace. All right. Now, if you have 3 ranks in the characteristic and 1 rank, whatever the lower number is, that's your proficiency die. Okay. So what if you have only 1 rank in presence, but you have 3 ranks in the skill itself, or in charm? Thusly, same thing. So whatever the lower number is becomes the proficiency. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to describe it the other way, as like just so you get the basic concepts down, because that would be for a higher level anyway. As you get more ranks, then you start to see the differences of now I got 4 ranks in charm. Yeah, but you still have 1 rank in the actual inherent skill, so it's that you don't get the full 4 based on the ranks. You still got to use the lower number for the green. Right, so let's say that the smuggler has 3 points in presence, the natural ability, but 1 rank. He got 1 in the actual skill of charm. So then, of course, now it's going to be this kind of a rule. Okay, and the thugs are just this. Okay, now let's say there was a thug that was a leader thug, better, more inclined to be smarter. Would I add in one of these? Probably not. I would probably switch it to one of these. If it's a leadery, sergeant-y kind of leader, like Stormtrooper would be this, And if there was a stormtrooper sergeant, I'd probably do this, okay? And this is for whatever NPCs you want to do. This is the average type of person or thug or alien or whatever. You know, this could be a Wookiee as far as natural talent versus and this is concerning skill upon skill, not fighting yet. This is just skill upon skill. But this could also be, for instance, a door. Let's say you're trying to break into not a mechanical door, not electronic locks, security locks, but just say a mechanical metal door. You know, they would have to use a brawn. Let's say this is a Wookiee, right? So a Wookiee probably naturally has a 3, and maybe the character added a 4th because he wanted to be super tough. Now this is going to be his skill for melee and brawling, you know. And then if he wants to break down a door, obviously you probably do a brawl. I don't see anything on the skills that would give him, I think it would just be brawl, yeah. Or you could just do brawn, whatever. But anyway, so let's say he's going to break down the door and use, but he does have a rank in brawl, right? They're going to probably get a point. So you do that. But let's say he's got a big heavy wrench or something. Okay, well, let's add a boost die then, because that's a big wrench. And this is just a metal door. This is a crappy like shack door. You can just probably break through, you know, so you're pretty much going to succeed. This is like a metal door in some Mos Eisley, in some back alley, you know, reinforced or whatever. Or it could be reinforced. It's a metal door, but it's also reinforced. This is the negative die. So he's got a couple of negatives there. And he's got the positives. Okay. So let's just do this craziness right here. I'm going to roll this and see what happens with this metal door, reinforced, Wookiee, 1 rank in brawl with a gas stick or wrench or whatever. Okay. So let's see what happens. So then you compare dice, right? Obviously, I'm pretty sure I'm going to win. So these two take each other out. See these crests and this crest succeeds. Oop. All right, these two take each other out. Uh-oh. So see how 3 successes. Break open the door easily. Fine. 1 threat. Someone might have heard. Kind of noisy. You know? Now, you can either play that as someone does come and check. I would just give them a little nervousness, you know? I wouldn't even... If it was like this, you know, if that came to be like the final, then I would have someone come check. Now, they can play that off as, oh, yeah, we live here, blah, blah, you know, but they would have to deal with it. You know what I mean? Or, better than that, actually, he takes two strain. Because you have hit points, and I need to play more with that, too. You have wounds, which is hit points, and you have strain, which is your energy. This one, you can get back pretty quickly. So this one's going to go up and down a lot during the game. Actually, and my fault is I'm not using it enough. I need to get them to feel more tired, you know, really push that tiredness. And this is the perfect opportunity for that to happen. So every time they do sort of a physical roll, or if they're in combat and they roll these at lower levels, you know, when you only get a handful, like 1 or 2, then take off a strain or 2 strain. I don't know if it's exactly 1-to-1, you know. It might be this is just 1, 2 for whatever. Now, this is when they... when they roll on themselves, kind of thing. Okay, so that's that. That's like a door. Let's say he's doing a charm thing, you know, like this is a smuggler. He's got 4 ranks in presence in the natural ability, and then he's got a rank in actual charm. And this is the thug at the pirates at the gate, and he's trying to persuade them. Let's say he's got some wop rat meat. You know what I'm saying? They're all looking at it. He said he's thinking about offering that. Let's say the pirates they really are, you know, they're regulars here. They know all the people and you know what's what. You know, you might want to give them a little more just because they've been experienced in doing this. Or maybe that experience is this. So let's do this instead. There's one of them that's the leader guy and he's experienced at the gate. So then the character will roll this for charm. Okay. Oh! That's a despair. That's a good one. Or for the GM anyway. Oop, screen went out. All right. So these take each other out. Wow. Total successes. Total wins. What's the despair? They totally give them... they don't have to pay to get in. They don't even have to give them the womp rat. Oh my gosh. Okay, I had to deal with my dog, and now I fix the sinking thing. Okay, so total success, despair. Man, you're at a pirate's gate. Despair. You know, you're trying to get through. See, I still got to work on getting used to this. And if I'm not, and just you as a GM too, if you're not ready for this, I guess what I could do is say some bad guy comes to the gate. You know, maybe you get through, but then someone comes along and there's an encounter anyway. That's the thing about this. You got to be ready for this kind of stuff. And I, as a DM, I have my own way of, like, this is the randomness in this game. I don't have, in D&D, you kind of have everything prepared. And then if you want to random stuff, you have your own tables. But this randomness can come up at any time. So this is just so since I added this because it's the sergeant and they get through, I'm going to have this sergeant, and they succeed. I mean, he succeeds at charming them. But this guy hates him. I'm going to turn him into a villain. The captain, or the sergeant, and he realizes he has to pay up. You know, the captain, the pirate captain, comes over and says, "Why'd you let them in for free?" And so this guy is maybe going to go after them later. I don't know. You know, I got to figure that out. But that's the thing you got to be ready for as a GM in this Star Wars thing. Is if you're going to put this in there, you got to be ready for that despair. You got to have something kind of, you know, an idea of what it is when you use it. That's the part that for me is like I'm not used to yet, and I definitely got to get used to it. See, I can't even do it here as an example, like, you know, quickly. You know what I mean? But anyway, and I'll get better at it. Sometimes though, if I can't think of something, let's just keep playing. I'll forget it. You know what I mean? I'll do that. But the simplest thing to do is have them take wounds or have them take strain, and this especially if they're doing physical skills, not the charm skills. So for the social skills, yeah, you gotta like really think about that and grasp an understanding of what that could be. And I actually in the book it does have options for that. So definitely for social skills like charm, negotiation, what else is there? Charm, negotiation, coercion, streetwise. Definitely get the despair down on those ones, like what the despair options are, because they do give you some examples and threats too. You just got to know these now. And also probably for the crescent, whatever these are, the advantages, you probably want to familiarize yourself with those as well. Okay. So again, if you, and another thing too, do try to avoid rolling a lot of dice. Like if you got 4 characters and you want to roll perception, don't have them all roll. That is horrible. I realized that in the last session. And they do have a rule, and I didn't, I don't get every rule down all the time, but I finally realized this rule that they do have specifically for this. And it's the same rule they use for minions in combat. Minions is when they group stormtroopers together or group little lows together. That way, instead of having like 3 different shots, the minions all have 1 shot for, with the 3 adding their skills together kind of thing. And here's how this works. So let's say you're doing perception, right? And you wanted the best player to do perception, and their perception is cunning, I believe. Yes, cunning. So let's say that they have a cunning of 3, okay? The bounty hunter or whatever, whoever. But they have a couple ranks in it, right? Let's say they have 2 ranks in it. Boom. But another character, so you only have the best one do it. Now 3, so what we're doing here, so what the essence is that he has the bounty hunter has 3 cunning and 2 ranks. But let's say another character wants to help. Don't have them all roll perception, only 1. Now the other character, well, what do they have in these ranks? Do they have, let's say they have, they only have 2 ranks, and they only have one of these, right? So so in essence, this one is like that, and then this one is like that. And this one wants to help that one in perception. Well, they can't really help because there's nothing there to add to it, okay? Because this person already has 2 more and 3 more. So this person is just going to be better than this person. So I wouldn't add any. They can't. The only way they can help, I would say they can help is here, just that. They just help like that. Now, if this person had electro binoculars, I would add that too for their perception roll. Okay, that's it. That's all I would do. One other person can help, blah, blah, blah. Now, let's say the other person, though, has 3 ranks in perception. Cunning. And let's say they're the same. They're the same, right? Well, again, I wouldn't add anything. Or, I'm sorry. I would add, you do get to add one thing. Sorry, not this either. It's change this to this, okay? So you get to do that. So now the bounty hunter can roll these 3 for perception, okay? Versus whatever the DM, the creatures are that, or or the bad guys are hiding and they're like that, you know, or whatever the opposing role is, or they're coming up. You know, vigilance, hiding, perception, whatever they're trying to do, track. Oh, using a scanner, you know, maybe it's a really good scanner, boom, you know, or whatever. But anyway, so if you do add another character and they have, remember, there's the higher number will be the greens. The lower number, let's say, will be the proficiencies. So that would be this, right? So if another character comes in with a low number of 3 in, they give them their highest number as well. So 3 and 3. I got to look up that rule again. Okay, yeah, so the skill is this. If one character, you can choose which characteristic and which skill to use if you have 2 characters. If they're high, and if it's higher and actually helps. So yeah, if say this character has that, right, and it's pretty high. Oh, let's lower it down because that's what made me confused. Let's say the character only has this. Okay, he's got presence of 3 and 1 rank in cool, but the other character has 2 ranks in cool and 2 presence. So this guy, we go, oh good, I'm gonna use your two ranks in presence, and I'll keep my 3 ranks. You know, my 3 ranks in, 2 ranks in cool, and I'll keep my 3 ranks in presence. Thusly, it would be that. So it's like, you know, they can combine the best of each of their characteristics and skills to then do the one roll. Now, if the guy's, you know, like I said, if the guy doesn't have much, it isn't better at any of them, then you can just add a bonus die in. So that's how that works. Woo! I should probably add the other part out, but whatever. I'm too lazy. Okay, so there's how that works, okay? So then the GM obviously decides the difficulty in that, like, you know, easy, medium, hard. Now, these only come into play if you really, really, really think it's going to be, you know, additional. Again, if the person is trained, you know, they obviously can have 2 is average, 3 is way better, and 4 is really exceptional as far as human-sized type of species and stuff. And these ranks would be if they really are professionals. So you could, I would say, you know, bounty. This is you know, stormtrooper type thugs. This is like, you know, bounty hunter special, and this is like Jedi or, you know, the Mandalorian as far as natural ability. And of course, you add these in. You can add these in anywhere really. So a thug that has a, you know, a leader type sergeant, right, or a merchant, right? A merchant, still a small booth, market, poor. Oops, let me see those dice. Poor. This is a merchant in a Mos Eisley, natural talent, but of course the merchant's going to probably have that, right? The merchant's helper might just be that. The merchant will have that at least. And if it's a really good merchant, you know, they might have this. They might have 3 rings, and 2 of them is the actual skill. And of course, this would be a bounty hunter, you know, with skills or whatever, or, you know, imperial officer kind of thing. You know, and of course, if you go to 4 for whatever, you know, this right here is a ranker, by the way. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's for combat. You can't do that. Combat now. Let's go to combat. Combat is all it is your skill. Let's say you've got 3 agility and 1 rank in pistol ranged light, which is like a laser blaster pistol. So that's your roll. Now, all this is not the character itself. It's not the skill of the character. It's the distance. Short and melee and short, medium, long, extreme. Okay, that's it. So that's pretty fun and easy. Now, you can obviously add things like, oh, he's going to do a name. You get a name option. You can add that. Terrain, rain, dark, you know. That's kind of fun. Do like that. Okay. And I'm thinking, oh, they never get to add these in combat. But you don't want these in combat because, well, let's face it, you're going to get shot at. You know, that's enough of that, you know. So you avoid putting these in combat because you're just going to get shot at anyway. So that's enough of a despair, you know, critical. And by the way, this is a critical, so that's an automatic hit. And yes, if you get criticals based on how many of these you get, or if you get one of these, you can then roll on the critical table and do damage. You know, like with extra stuns and disorients and staggers and when you get a critical, it adds up. Even if the effect of the critical goes away, you still have that critical until you get it, you know, healed up. So it keeps adding, and that makes it even worse. So it's the first critical. After that is an additional 10 to this roll. Oh, that's screen. Additional 10 to this roll. And then the second critical is an additional 20 when you roll, an additional 30. And if you ever go to 150 on the roll, you're dead. You know, you die. So there's that. So combat is really simple. It's really great, man. And again, the combat is when you will have them all each roll, in their turns and rolling initiative and everyone rolls initiative based on either their cool or their vigilance, and it's not an opposing roll. It's just who gets who gets the highest. I mean, that's the pre-maximum. I just did almost maximum there, and that this person will go first, whatever. But when you do roll initiative, and let's say the players win 2, and then the DM wins the 3rd, and the player wins the 4th. Thusly, but the players can decide who goes in which order of the first 2 and the 4th. So they can mix it up however they want. And again, and also when you roll this, all right, see, and you get a bunch of these. So it didn't hit, right? And whatever here, let's just say it's a medium range. Okay, so take these 2 out. So these 2 didn't hit, but 2 advantages. So so maybe the next person that fires gets a bonus die. You can do that. But let's say that they rolled this, and it was all whatever, and they get two threats. Take off 2 strain, or 1 or 2. I can't remember. I gotta look that up. But take off 2 strain means that they rushed around, rolled or whatever, and totally missed, but they're just exhausted. See, so they can go down in their strain in combat, and as they go down in that strain, if they get to 0, they're out, or get up to 12. Sorry, they go up. They go up to 12. If you go up to 12, you're out, and you're just exhausted. You faint. You're knocked out. You can't fight anymore. So that's cool. And then of course those recover quicker because they're basically energy. Okay, so I hope you guys understand the concept. And like I said, as far as adding NPCs, again, if you just understand the concept, this is like really poor, destitute, thug, thug, but trained, you can replace it. Sergeant-y, stormtroopers, trained stormtrooper, really trained. And this is like bounty hunter-y, kind of more tougher character and then of course you can add this to especially if it's their main skills. This is like if they're odd skills and this is their main skills kind of thing. And for large beasts, they're going to have a natural brawn or whatever. Well, this isn't even for fighting. This is for, you would never even do that for fighting. This is for the skills, like perception and all that, and negotiations and vigilance and all that, survival. And then, so that's that. And then even for attacking, right? You understand that for when you roll for yours, this would be for a thug. This would be for bounty huntery, but they, definitely going to have some skill in that, right? This is stormtrooper, and then a little more trained stormtrooper. And then the minions. Okay, so how the minions work is you'll have that for them. For the first minion, or they might even have 3 ranks. Well, let's say 2 ranks. Really poor stormtrooper or thug or whatever. For the second minion, you're going to do that. And for the third minion in the group, you're going to do that. That's the roll for all 3. And they're all shooting at the same target, right? So 3 of them are shooting at, your smuggler or whatever. And then if they die, they just die. If you just get a crit, if you shoot at them and you get a crit, just 1 dies automatically. So but they all have like 5 wounds or 4 wounds. So as soon as you do 4 wounds, then 1 of them dies. As soon as you do another 4, another one dies. And thusly you lower their shooting by, each time they lose, you take these out. Okay, so that's how you do that. The lesser the rolls, the better. Don't do any randomness. You'll see my other video I mentioned kind of not doing randomness. But again, that's how this works. It's very, it's kind of neat and simple. Well, it's not simple, but it's, it's easily, you can easily grasp what you need. God, freaking thing. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, that's the dice. So I hope that was helpful. Again, I'm enjoying this and enjoying doing the videos, and I know it's kind of me just blabbing, but yeah, just to get another feel for the dice and how they work. Bringing the whole family in, and plus the adopted outsider one, and the tokens. But anyway, that's the dice. Hope that was helpful, and it helps me because when I explain it, I actually learn more by explaining it. That's probably why I'm doing it too. All right, hope this is good.